This is Tracy D. Armstrong with What's Your Mess? And we have another great episode for you all today. Today we have Mr. Jamahl Simmons joining us. Jamahl, go ahead and tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
I'm the CEO and chief honcho over at Third Coast Media. That's what I do. I am a AI expert that speaks.
So you're an AI expert that speaks. You're the head honcho at Third Coast Media. Is that what it's
Sometimes,
okay?
sometimes it happens.
Okay. Okay. So I know that you haven't always been in that particular position. So could you tell everyone a little bit about your mess?
My mess is about fear. That's why I wear this shirt. It says fear is for others. It's a Bruce Lee quote, right? My mess is about fear. So if you follow all the rules, you'll always get exactly what the rules will allow. But if you take a chance to step outside of the rules, and I don't mean that in respects of breaking rules like negatively. I mean the standard ideas that you've been sold your entire life, that you need a structure to make money, to take care of your family, to live that life or that life. That it's not true. What you're looking at is somebody scared. It's fear. Fear for you. They don't want to see you fall. They don't want to see you go through pain. Nobody wants to have their family members or loved ones to go through pain. It's fear for themselves, because a lot of times what happens is, if you are right, if you do step out on faith, as they call it, right, and go do what it is close to your heart, and you're right, it causes the other person to have to look internally. They have to look to themselves and say, hey, you know what? And normally it's a friend or a family member. You'd be surprised how genuinely happy other people are for you versus your people that are around you. But that's another story. When family members that grew up in the same socioeconomic value system, same basic schooling, same family, and you go far and beyond what's expected of you in your own self and even your own path, it causes that person to have to look inward and say, why am I not where they are? Because the first thing they're doing is they're judging based on their own personal, connection to you, which they shouldn't do in the first place. But when they do, it makes them reflect internally. So it always comes out ugly. So the first thing I want to tell you about is, just to get the fear part out of the way. But once that happens, you can find something truly that speaks to your heart and soul. And you don't have to be put inside any kind of box that's going to make you earn this or earn that. There are many different ways to skin a cat without taking the fur over the head, my grandmother used to say to me. I don't know who's skinning cats, but that's what they used to say. So yeah, that's it. Oh, and the AI revolution is here, and your stupid school won't matter anyway. So about that.
So you mentioned fear. So I kind of want to go back a little bit. So is there a situation that you've gone through to where fear played a part in it?
Oh yeah, I was stuck in a dead end job. Well, I'm the only one. I know I'm the only one that's ever had a dead end job. And what I mean by that, there was no upside to it. I've had about 50 or 60 jobs. I'm being light, it's probably close to 80. My friends and I play a game called How Many Jobs Have You Had? And if they name a job that I haven't had or had one that's like proxy to it, they take a shot. But if they guess it wrong, but if they get it right, we used to do that. So that's the joke, Like I've had them all. I've done them all, high to low, from indoors, outdoors, from computers to at home to high level, low level, as low as painting numbers on curbs to as high as CEO level stuff. I've had them all in between. And just for me, it wasn't fulfilling because I had always been sold a dream that if I just do these things that was required of me, that I would find the joy in them. And the actuality is I can't find joy in anybody else's dreams. You'll live somebody else's dreams and you'll get to the end and you'll be upset. Can I just speak? Do you mind if I speak for a second on that one? Mind if I just expound a little bit?
No
So
problem.
one day when I was working a cube job, I might have had a job with a cubicle. I'm not crapping on cubicle jobs. You do what you got to do for your family. You know, I mean, that's first and foremost. But I'm saying I had one of those jobs, and I had done everything they had said do. I had gotten the degrees, I had gotten the certifications. I was number one in this, and that, and the third. I get the job, and I'm sitting in the cube. 4 months pass, and I go, oh no. And then the tears just came down my face. I couldn't figure out why I was crying. I called my friend on the phone who done IT, and he makes way more money than I ever did doing IT. And I asked him, I said, is this it? Is this it? So now I have to find joy in the money. But there's never any joy in the money. That's the joke. Spend your whole life hunting. But there was never any joy there to begin with. That's the joke. You know?
So can I expound on that? So
Sure.
what kept you there? Was it fear that kept you there, or was like, how
Yeah.
did the fear play the part in that?
And I'm sorry, I'm sorry I didn't keep going. I got a little emotional. So that's a fact. But yeah, it's all those fears. How am I going to make money? What am I throwing it all away because somebody else is looking to you and they're saying that you should be doing this, this, this. So you're just dancing around, jumping through hoops on fire. You don't want to break anybody's heart. You don't want to disappoint anybody. You want everybody to be proud of you. Are you proud of yourself? Are you the one that's happy at the end of the day? And is it bringing you fulfillment and joy? If you answer no to any one of those things, it's time to start looking. And then here's the other part that I came to talk to you here today about that I didn't mention, was that if you sit behind a computer for a living, your job is about to be over with in under 3 years. I know. I know. It's hard to take. It's hard to swallow. I know. But it's a fact. I watched it happen personally to me. You want to talk about overcoming fear? So this is the other part about faith. So God just pushed me out of the door all the way. He wouldn't even allow me to stay there. He was like, fool, you got to go. I'm trying to stay. I got to make that money. Maybe these new shoes. I got a car note I got to pay. I got rent to pay. And then one day I went to work, and a good buddy of mine, I worked night shift, and a good buddy of mine came into work. He said, come to my cube right quick. I said, what's up? We go to this cube, and they had hired him to do some coding and programming. And the process that we used to do it for this IT process, it took minutes. You had to sit there and do stuff and type this in and look for that. Da, 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 da. This guy came in and automated the whole process. At first, it was 2 button clicks and a drag. Then the next day I came to work, it was 1 button click. I went to his cube and I said, please don't show the boss this for another 3 weeks. I got to get my resume together because it's over for me. He had just killed my job. And if you've had half a TV screen on, if you've ever had TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, you know there's an AI thing going on right now. And the AI thing is doubling so fast that any kind of tech job or sitting behind a computer job or even answering the phone job, they're going to be gone. So what's going to happen is your need to survive is going to take over from your fear. So even though I'm wearing this, it won't even matter because your survival mode will have to kick in or else you're done. You're going to have to find something else to do. Is there anything else you'd like to say? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the screen, looking at the camera. I'm trying to, I'm sorry if I just took over like that. It's just, that's, it's in me. I want to save as many people as possible, if I
No
possibly can.
problem. No problem at all. And that's why I was going to go into the mental aspect. And you kind of touched on it a little bit, like mentally. You mentioned fear, and you mentioned how you were kind of in that position, and then they pushed you out the door, and you kind of stayed there for fear of not knowing what you were going to do after that. Is that
Right.
kind of the mental aspect? Because how did that affect you mentally?
Well, it was really the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. And of course, I had to prove it to myself. I had another stop at another job. I decided to go back to my old haunts of teaching school. And I'm not gonna do it to you today. I'm not gonna kill teachers today. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm just gonna say that what they're being taught is behind what's going on in front of their face. And that's just from me teaching And that's to anybody that's got any children or gonna have some children or whatever. You're gonna have to do some extra work when that kid comes home, because what's going on outside the door of that school is a light year ahead of what they're being taught, and the way they're being taught is a lot different than what's necessary. But backing up to what you're saying before, when you become an entrepreneur, you have to learn a few things. You have to develop thick skin. There's no two ways about it. You're taking on something, an undertaking that people are going to look at and judge it. Can you take them saying whatever they're going to say? It's not a fighting thing. That's their fear. It's not, I'm ready to fight to defend it. I don't have to. That's their fear coming out in word form. Are you going to, can you do that? Are you ready to lose family and friends? Are you ready to possibly not be there for your loved ones for a little bit? You have to pay something to get in. That payment is time in the beginning, but in the end part, the payment out is time, because that's the real game. The real game is time.
So emotionally, when it comes to the fear aspect, how has fear affected you emotionally?
Job was hell. I was going through stuff at home, working in every day like that, going in knowing that it's over. That's the worst one. You know the chopping block, you know it's coming. Ain't nothing nobody can do about that. That's it. Is that even English? Hell. I just was like, I don't want to feel like that no more. Ever again in life. And here we are again. So, what's it gonna be? This is how I felt about it. I mean, I got fed up. I taught school, same thing. It just didn't fit. I did it all. I couldn't be me every day. Right now, I'm me every day. And I'm all right with that. On the interview, this is who you get. On the interview, this is who you get. Hi. Absolutely. A month later, I'm doing karate kicks in the cubicle. I'm doing push-ups, in front of, I'm just being me. But, you're there away from your family for, 8, 10, 12 hours. We were working 12s at the time. You want to be as comfortable as possible. So when it's a hostile environment, when you go home, you're taking that hostility home with you. I'd rather drink muddy water and sleep in a hollow log than to do that again in life. Feeling like I got to take it home. Right now, not having to deal with that for me. I can't speak for everybody else, but if you ever felt that before and you feel like there's something else bigger for you out there, you give some kind of entrepreneur something a shot on the side. Just give it a shot. Build a website, put it out there. Follow me online. I'll teach you how to make websites and all that. I'll teach you how to do all that. It's that feeling of I can make $1 when I feel like it, when I want. The very first company I made was a carpet cleaning company. It came to me from a friend. Me and my cousin ran it. And the very first job we did cleaning carpets. Does anybody want to take a shot at what that number was? You got an idea? How much money you think I charged? 4 bedrooms, stairs, the whole naughty. How much you think I charged?
$100.
40 flipping dollars. That man got the deal of a lifetime. $40. I did 4 rooms. I did the stairs. I did I was sweat running down, scrubbing my back, breaking my. It was the best $40 I ever made in my entire life. I ain't never made no money that ever felt better than that $40. It was me realizing I'll never starve again. And I could not starve right now. I ain't need nobody else. Once I figured out I had something that somebody else wanted, I got something that you want, and you're going to give me money for it. I don't have to wait for nobody to tell me. I ain't got to wait anybody. Hey, boss, can take a bathroom break. Yeah, let me tell you about that IT job. I worked there for 18 months straight, no breaks, right? I wouldn't take it off no time. I'm straight grinding. We grinding. We get the money, baby. You think you building up some sort of equity? No, you're not. I had to take an off day for something. I don't even remember what it was. You got to go in there like a schlub and ask them to take a day off that you deserve, that you got. His first question was, why you need to take it? I said, I ain't took a day off in 18 months. What difference does it make why I need to take it? You already know you're on your way out. The minute you think like that, you already outside the box. You thinking, oh, that's just a regular thought for everybody. We all had that thought. We've all had that. You're like, what is this, a McDonald's? No disrespect to McDonald's. I don't want no heat from the McDonald's folk, okay? I don't need that in my life. I love a good quarter pounder like everybody else. I don't need that kind of stress in my life. Y'all leave me alone, okay? I'm saying though, you run this place like a damn McDonald's. I've got a flipping college degree. How dare you? I studied Shakespeare, Cambridge. How dare you time my breaks for more than 15 minutes? You got to go in there with that on your face. But you know, if you having a thought process that, hey, you know what, possibly I'm old enough, grown enough to take a damn lunch break when I feel like it. And you're not in there working 8 hours straight anyways. You know you're not working 8 hours straight. Just think you worked 8 hours for yourself, like you work for somebody else. You put in a real 8 hours every day. I guarantee something coming out of it. They can't stop you. You make up all that space. Okay, so this is a basic day at an IT job. Well, at the ones that I worked at, and most corporate jobs for that matter. Most corporate jobs just like this. Most jobs just like this. If you live someplace that's got a good football team or they love football, if you don't, you know, whatever. But for places that got real football and they love football, you come in on Monday, you talk about what happened at the game, who should have got fired, y'all, who in the pool, who got the money from the football pool. This is sucking up the first 2 hours of work. Fantasy. I won this week in fantasy football. My team, we had everybody in there playing fantasy football. Everybody. People didn't even know about fantasy football. They playing. It's 2 hours, and you look up. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Take a little break. Walk around for a little bit. Harass some folks. You look up. It's noon. It's time to go to lunch. Go to lunch. You come back. You haven't gotten any work done. You can work for like an hour. Out of the first 4 hours, you've worked an hour total. And then after lunch, you got full. Y'all ate. You ate big. Come after lunch, you dopey, watch a little YouTube, whatever y'all things y'all do, and then look up and it's 3:45 and it's time to go. You haven't done squat. Imagine if you did spend an entire 8 hours doing it for yourself. Just doing what you do for somebody else. Even just doing that. You can find somebody that wants what you do for somebody else right now. You're an accountant at so-and-so and so-and-so. You can do accountants right on the side right now. You can build a website on Wix, on Squarespace. Right now, it's drag and drop. Click, drag. You already in the hamster wheel anyway, dragging and dropping. This ain't no different. Drag, drop, drag, drop, drag, drop. Got a website. Hey, I don't know how to do it. YouTube University, go there. Half of y'all in there doing nothing anyways. So that was for me. It was that feeling of I'll never starve again. I can always feed my family something. And my ability to go in and just leave all that negativity behind at 4 p.m. or whenever it is I work whatever time I want to work. I schedule how I want to schedule it. Yeah, you operating without a net, but so what? You was operating without a net before. Ain't you learned nothing? COVID didn't teach them. You can't say COVID on there no more. COVID didn't teach nobody nothing. You had a job. COVID hit on my birthday. I know when COVID hit. You ain't got to tell me nothing. I was out on my birthday trying to go see a movie. It looked like a ghost town out there. So what that mean? That means all those shops around there that usually depend on foot traffic, that job is over. It was on my birthday. It was a ghost town out there. Go check some videos. You see his New York streets empty. Nothing on the streets. That rent for the building cost $40,000. They depending on foot traffic on 42nd Street, but ain't nobody out there. How you gonna pay? It's over. You had a job Monday. You don't have one Wednesday. Good luck. I was safe. You played the safe role. You're gonna do it for them. They told you to go. They told you to do. You did it. How I overcome it? Because I understand. I said what's going on around me. I look around and I say, you know what? I don't believe none of y'all. Y'all all lying to me. I'm paranoid. Hey, man, they sold you a lie from day one. If you just play by the rules, if you just play ball with us, we're going to take care of you. That's a lie. It's the ugliest lie ever. I've never seen a bigger, uglier lie. It used to be true. My grandfather, God rest his soul, he the last of the people that triple dip. Retired from the military, retired from a civil service job he had afterwards, and then he got his Social Security retirement after that. And then he had his VA disability benefits. He quadruple dipping. He hit them front back side to side. My grandmother ain't worked since she was 30. God rest her soul. She didn't work till she died. They're the last people. When he retired from his second job, they gave him a gold watch. 30 years and 27 years in one and 30 in the next one. Gave him a gold watch. You ain't getting no gold watch. You ain't getting one. Just, I don't know how to tell them. I don't know what to say. What do you want me to say? You want me to say this is a joke or something? It's not. I tell jokes, but I'm telling you how I feel on the inside. Like, I mean, that feeling, that first $40 is like crack cocaine. I was like, man, are you kidding? I never smoked no crack before. I'm just saying, I heard it's a rough thing, but I'm saying it must be real good. Oh, keep doing it, shit. It must be the bomb, but I ain't willing to try to find out. I don't care. I'm just saying that first $40 was worth. Man, I was like, what? Of course, I realized later on that price is way too small. And then that business, if you want to go back into that part about not trusting people, that business caved because I trusted people too fast, which is also bad. So I gave somebody too much reign. I expanded too fast. And then I didn't have the wherewithal to contract and cut folks' roles down. I had them playing out of position. So the management part is part of the learning process as well. But I had people playing out of position. But that's something you just learn from being in it. And you're going to fail. Newsflash, you're going to fail. I don't even clean carpets anymore, unless it's for a family member or a friend. I don't even clean them no more, but I still know how. And if the fit hit the shan, so to speak, and they stop giving out money, and I can't get no money from nowhere else, you know what I can go do? I can go door to door with my vacuum and a cleaner, which I still have, and clean somebody's carpet and they give me some money.
So with that being said, as far as your social life, as far
Zero.
as socially,
It's zero.
well,
It's zero.
Can you explain, like, how is it zero? Like social life, you're
Where I'm
saying
going. I'm doing business stuff all the time. Like, I don't, if it's not involved in it, I don't really want to talk about it. I want to go. The time is short, right? It's not forever. So I get a more value. It gives me a more value of time. So socially, my friends already know everything there is to know about me. They know what I'm gonna do, and just about any situation, right? But I can give that up for a little bit, right?
mm-hmm.
No, we can't give it up for a little bit. We got to have it all the time. You've had it all the time your entire life. This is where you are.
So can we go back? Because I
Sure.
need you to expound,
We might
because
have to edit some of this out. I'm going left. I'm sorry. I got the.
we're
You're making me sweat.
we're
No,
no, I just want to make sure that I'm hearing you correctly, because we were on fear and we were talking about fear and how fear can cause mental and emotional situations in life, especially when it comes to career changes and things like that, are being stuck in what you really don't want to be in because of fear of change, right? And so when I say socially, you say you had no social because of the fact that you were trying to do everything yourself for your business, or because of the fear of I mean,
See
can
both
you?
A and B. See both A and B. I for a fact. Like you don't, you're like, I gotta, whatever amount of, if you ever read 10X before, it's the truth. It's the Bible of it, of effort. Whatever time you think it's going to take you to get that business off the ground, multiply times 10. Whatever amount of money you think it's going to take to get that business off the ground, multiply it by 10. It's like, that's the truth. It's not refutable. It's like when you try it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I thought I was going to be able to do this in a month, and it takes you 10 months. That's the game. If you want to accelerate that, whatever. So that, even that being said, I have to spend 10x amount of time on it in the beginning. So the parable I use is this. You like a good parable, right? 3 guys are riding down the street in the car. Car begins to overheat. This is old cars. I'm not talking about these new ones, but they made electric. Okay, the car begins. He put water on an electric car. The car begins to overheat. It needs water. They pull over to the side of the road. They see a farm down the way. They grab what they can, flashlights or whatever, and they go and knock on the guy's door. They say, "Hey, can we get some water?" He says, "Yeah, it's out there in the old well. You guys go out there and pump as much as you want." Anybody know anything about a well? It's got a little handle on it, and you see them on the old movies, and they be doing like that, and the water shoots out of it. What they don't tell you is that you got to prime that pump. So the first guy gets out, he starts pumping quickly into his pump, and he realizes nothing was coming out. The other guy comes and says, "Hey, you got to prime that pump." He says, "What do you mean?" He says, "You got to put water down in there to get it going a little bit so you can pump it out." They find a little creek behind the house and go back there with the hubcap. They get some water in the hubcap. They dump it in there. They start priming the pump. The guy's pumping, he's pumping, and he's pumping, and nothing's coming out. So he starts pumping harder, and he's pumping, and nothing's coming out. Nothing comes out. And then finally he gets tired, and he's like, "I quit." The other guy comes on and rushes, grabs him. "What are you doing?" And he grabs him. He starts pumping even harder. And after about another 30 seconds or so of this pumping action, water starts gushing out. And now he's pumping a lot slower, but water's still gushing out. Water's still gushing out. Even if he stops pumping altogether, water's still gushing out. So the moral of that story is that you got to fight like hell in the beginning. That's where all the work is done, so that in the backside, you can reap the benefits of all the work you did. And then you can slow up if you want to. And if you don't want to, of course, you don't continue to pump like a crazy fool, but it's unnecessary. Let's go find another well. Start pumping on that one. Hey, did I say that right?
So with that being said, as far as your status of life, because you're saying that fear causes people, and I'm not talking about people, I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
You causes you to mentally, emotionally, and then like socially, you're saying, is it because socially you just didn't have time? So how did that affect your status of life? How does the fear affect how you live your life?
The fear affects it because you begin to believe that you need it. And if you need it, then you have to go and attend to it 100%. When in actuality,
what is the it?
I mean, your social life, right? You've got this social construct, and you've been fed your whole life that that's the social construct. But let's be honest, you got about 3 friends. Everybody else is some folk you know. If they're really your friends and they see what you're doing, they'll understand. If they're not your friends, you'll understand. That's how that goes. You got 3 friends. You don't have, you ain't got no crew of dudes that's all y'all friends. No, you're not. You got 3 tops. I got 1. I was born with that one. Okay, maybe I got 2 tops. Everybody else is just people I know. And as your social life, the fear is you're going to lose your social life because you have a fear of this, lose my job. Part of it's, I'm not going to have the same social status. I'm not going to be able to drive what I was driving. I'm not going to be able to go to eat where I was eating. I'm not going to be able to go do what I was doing. So you're like, I got to keep that appearance. But my line has always been, you can't drive a Lamborghini into the nightclub. You can drive it up to it and get out and walk in. But what goes on the inside of the nightclub is something totally different. But that's another story for another time, obviously. but you have a fear of losing all those things. You have the fear of keeping that appearance when it's just fear, because the people that look up to you still look, they're hoping for, they're rooting for you. And even people that are rooting for you, looking from afar, looking at you, ninja watching like ninjas in the bushes, looking. I hope she make it. I hope he don't go broke. They got they're staring at you from afar. They're doing that because it's a hope. It's so inside of them. They can't express it, because to express it is, sometimes it's locked in. That's not for you to decide, but there are people watching you. You have to do it. You have to shut it down. You got to get the time. You got to collapse time, or wait. You don't have to do it. Wait. Keep waiting. Get it next year. 2027 is yours. 2030, man, I'm gonna do it. Wait.
Saying that you had this fear and you were able to step out and you were able to overcome that fear. Now, tell the listeners, how were you able to do it? How were you able to clean up that mess of fear in your life?
Wow, thank you for leading me down this path, because I was never going to get there. Please land that plane for me. so take it too serious. Everyone's too serious here. The way you change is the mindset. The Chinese have a saying, if you could do something about it, then don't have any fear. If you can't do anything about it, then still don't have any fear. I mean, there's no need. If you can't do nothing about it, what are you fearing for? If you could do something about it, there's no need to have fear at all, right? So it's change. You have to change the entire philosophy for the inside to change. Whatever you had been taught from before, don't look at it as all been wrong. It got you here. Wherever here is, it got you here. Be thankful for that. You could be 1,000 other places all over the world with atrocities and stuff going on. And even if you are in one of those places, it got you here. You're hearing this today. You know better. Now you know better. You know that all you have to do is just change the way you're thinking here. And then this part will change.
Okay.
Just change it here. This part changes.
Now, I know that you're saying change your mindset. Now, how were you able to do that?
Oh, Eastern practices, meditating, being present in the moment. That's really a good one. If you can meditate, you can look up some guys on Theravada Buddhism. I follow a guy named Ajahn Brahm. He's a Tibetan monk that's in Australia. Sadhguru, plenty of other guys. You can go down the line. Even listen to little Jordan Peterson if you can. Sometimes he speaks about it. And really, it's just teaching, being present in the moment. You realize, just look at something. Just pay attention to something for like 10 seconds. You realize you're here. A speck on a speck on a speck on a speck on a speck in the universe. In trillions of galaxies, a speck on a speck on a speck on a speck. Go someplace big. Do something good for somebody. Do something for free for somebody. Oh my God, do something for free. Just give something away. And then you get some kind of introspectiveness. You say, oh, you know what? Because you're doing it. So it's got to happen. It's not impossible, right? You can go out and give something away right now. Grab something, anything, go give it away. Get $1, $2, give it away. That happened for you, right? Isn't that how faith works? And isn't that what they call that karma? That's how karma works. That's it. That's it. So I think of it that way. Like, if I want to reap some stuff that's good, try to give something away. Try to think about where you are right now in the moment. But
So
yeah.
When you said being in the present moment, and then you said you listen to, are those speakers?
Oh yeah, those are monks and priests and stuff like that. So not was a priest, or gurus or whatever you want to call them. And they have a lot of Eastern teachings, which Eastern teachings really direct forward. Like, you got a problem, you're the problem. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, blaming nobody else. Hey. You failed to. It's your fault, but don't beat yourself up. That's the other part. It's two parts, right? So it's your fault. You can get yourself out of all the problems, but don't beat yourself up if you haven't gotten yourself out of them up to now. It's the realization that you can, and then actively then doing something at 10x speed if you want 10x results, right? I'm putting it all. I'm landing the plane, right? At 10x speeds, at 10x results, you put it all together. Now you're actually doing it. Now you're doing it at 10x. So what are you going to reap? You're going to reap 10x. So that's to say, if you go out and give, so if you give one thing, then you're going to reap one thing. But if you give 10x things, then you're going to receive. A lot of people won't do this. Give it all away. Get rid of it. That's stuff from your old life. Get rid of it. It's do nothing but hold you back. That's talking about Erica Badu was a bag lady. Bag lady. You can't hurry up because you got too much stuff. You gotta throw it on the floor somewhere. Let it go. You don't need it. You need another 42-inch flat screen TV. No, you don't. You got 2 in the garage. You need another iPhone. No, you don't. You got 3 in a drawer somewhere. I used to flip iPhones for a living. Everyone's got 2 or 3 iPhones laying around somewhere. Old Samsung phone, old something. Give it away. Get rid of it. Get rid of that old couch. Sleep on the floor. Throw the clothes out. I'm going too far now. I'm sorry.
But are you saying? And I just want to make sure that the listeners can understand exactly what you're trying to encourage them to do, because you're saying give it away, and you're saying they got too much stuff. These types of things.
These are parables. These are parables. It's not. I'm not saying. I'm saying if you can physically do it, do it. They have a thing called the monkey mind in Buddhism. I'll explain it. Somewhere, I won't say where, let's say India, I think it is. They used to, I'm sure they've done it other places. Nothing's invented anywhere. Humans do this stuff over and over and over again. Somewhere where monkeys are a delicacy, they cut a tree down and they cut a knot hole in the tree. And then the knot hole is just big enough so that when they put some nuts and stuff down there and some bananas down at the bottom, whatever, right at the bottom, right? And then when the monkey sticks his hand in there to get the nuts, he makes a fist, and then what happens? He can't pull his fist out. But because he's such a monkey, then he can see the guy in the trapper coming over. He can see him. He walked right over, hit the monkey right on top of the head. The monkey's out. Because the monkey won't let go. The monkey will not let go of what he thinks is the prize. The prize is his life. Let go. So you can get on up out of there, so you can go do something else. If that's what you choose to do, so you can ascend a little bit higher. You can't, if you want, if the plane is going down, you can't keep dumping furniture inside the plane and saying don't go down. They say jettison the cargo, get rid of it so it can fly. Get rid of that cargo so it can fly. So that's as much as possible, so you can be as light as possible. And that's what I want to say.
Okay, and you use that's a great parable. And you're saying that you did a lot of these parables where you listened to a lot of these parables.
Now we're landing the plane. I did a lot of those things.
I just want to recap, because you listened to a lot of the parables and you took the information and it helped you change your mindset. And so when it helped you change your mindset, then you stopped having as much fear as you were having when it came to situations in life.
Land that plane, girlfriend. That is how it's done. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tracy D. Armstrong just landed this plane without any wheels on it, belly first into the river. She needs a medal because I was flying that thing all over the place. I'd have flew to the moon, had enough gas in it. It was on its way. Yeah, I used all of those things to not be a hindrance to myself, because really the game, the opponent, there is no opponent. You're the opponent. You're beating. I think somebody said you're beating yesterday's guy. You're not beating. Jamahl can't beat Jamahl from 14 years ago. Jamahl has to beat the guy from yesterday. Beat that guy. not beat Tracy, beat Jamahl from yesterday. Beat that guy. And if you beat that guy enough, then you'll be as great as you want to be until you say, I don't have to beat that guy no more. If you just look at that guy from yesterday and say, man, he held his breath underwater for 3 minutes. I'm going to go for 3.5 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm going to beat that guy. If that's what you're doing, of course, it's an analogy, but yeah, these are the things that I've learned, that help me get past the fear part. That and realizing, that this is all an illusion, although a very, very convincing illusion. It's just an illusion. That's it. Anyways, that and how I overcame that stuff was I just had, like I said, I just realized it hit me, and I was just like, oh, you're not gonna get out of here like that, and you can't waste any more time doing it like that. And it was just a self-realization moment. That's how I did it, because I realized I never wanted to go back to feeling the way I wanted to feel. I felt from before. It wasn't from fear. It was from fear at the same time. There was fear of me going back to that feeling, and also I had a fear of me getting out. So then God was like, "Up, out the door. You got hammered."
Well, I was about to ask you if you had any last minute words to leave the listeners, and you've dropped a lot of nuggets and you've dropped a lot of knowledge, but I'm sure that you have something else that you would like to leave the listeners with. Your last words.
Yes, ma'am. If you want to get in contact with me, email me, talk about AI stuff. You can find me at AICashbox.com, or how about this one? Scratch that. Go I'm at JamalSimmons.com. JAMAHL, spelled just like it's spelled right there on the bottom of the screen. JAMAHLSIMMONS.com. That's like that, but with Simmons on the back of it. Or you can find me on Facebook at the AI Money Group, or you can find me on Instagram at Sonny Chiba, SONNYCHIBAH. You can find me there, and I always leave some stuff there, some places you can go to, and we talk about AI stuff, and I make videos like this, and I talk to people like Tracy D. Armstrong about how she can get a better website and how she can track better and do AI stuff and all that stuff like that. So hopefully you'll see more of she and I together.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Really, really appreciate you coming on and sharing your knowledge, sharing your wisdom with the listeners. And as I end my episodes every time, I just want to leave you all with this. If you want to stay sad, live in the past. If you want to stay anxious and worried, keep thinking about your future. But if you want to be happy, then think about the present and be grateful for the things that you do have today. This is Tracy D. Armstrong with What's Your Mess. Have a good day, y'all.
Who loves you, baby?
Thanks for watching What's Your Mess? Mental, Emotional, Social Status of Life with our special guest, Jamahl Simmons. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe at Tracy D. Armstrong